Yeah, unbelievable, Jess. It was an amazing lap, and I know you guys have dissected it somewhat, but I want to dive in a little deeper. We've managed to get the data, very kindly the team have given us the data, to compare the lap with Brock Feeney. Now, 888 wouldn't give me the data. That's their choice, I understand, no problem at all, but Coca-Cola did. So let's have a look through it. Now, this is quite difficult, so bear with me. It's early morning, data's hard at night, let alone in the morning. What we've got here is his speed, his throttle pedal, this is Kostecki, his brake pressure and his steered angle. This is Brodie's his car, this is Brock Feeney's. Everything is lined up perfectly, right, to the micron. But what we want to look at is the time variance. This is the difference, green up here when Kostecki's in front, red when Feeney's in front, right, on the time variance. So let's start playing this lap as they come around the first corner. Now, we remember the mistake that Kostecki made coming around that first corner, and you're going to see the impact of that straight away. Right, so I'm going to pause it right here. You can see there, he made the little oversteer moment. That's what that little bit of steered angle is here. But here, importantly, is where he got off the throttle. That hurt him badly. Watch what happens to the time variance. The red, he's given Brock Feeney like 1/10.5. Now, we often talk about, that's not horsepower. When you don't get onto a corner or out of a corner properly, it costs you. Look at this. All the way along the straight, he's given it away. Then when they turn into turn 2, this is a really interesting one for me here. I'm just going to pause that right there. You see this little dip here? So Brock went faster in, but faster in is not always the way, because when you go too fast in, it costs you on the way out. So Brock made a bit on the way in, but he lost it on the way out. So let's press on. Now, as we get up the mountain, not a lot here as they go up into the cutting, but when we get up to the tough stuff, and I'm going to call this a commitment lap, because the commitment from Brodie across the top starts right here. You can see he's starting to come back at Brock. This is the brave stuff. This is where you're going to have a real crack. Now, this is not taking anything away from Brock's lap. This was a wonderful lap. But look, here comes Brodie back at him. Now, when we look at my little slider here, have a look when these guys come down into the grate. There's that dirty grate we talk about. You can see Brock is marginally in front, right? But I want you to watch the time variance as they come through here. You can see they both kiss the ground there. That's the puff of smoke from the splitters. But watch the variance from this point on, because Brodie Kostecki, I'm going to stop it right about, now it's just turned green. That's the point that Brodie got in front. This throttle you can see here, that's as he's putting his foot on the throttle. I've looked at enough data to know that that's an absurd amount of throttle going into that point. That's where he started to make the big gains. So let's go forward, and this is the next big gain. That is also an absurd amount of throttle that got him through McPhillamy Park. Skyline is the last part. Let's just go up to there where he made, or the second part where he made another big gain. Let's have a look over Skyline. Look what happens here. Massive, massive gains. And then we just go a little further to the dipper. This was the biggest gain of all. Look at that. That is incredible. I'll go back. You can see where it was in the dipper. Beautiful dance down here. Picked up this bit of throttle here and then jumped on it hard. Maybe 5 or 6 Ks an hour faster than Brock there. That is off the dial. And then the rest of the lap, there was pretty well level pegging. There wasn't a lot between the two guys. Both a really clean exit out onto the straight. Both got up to, in qualifying, usually don't get up to that 300 Ks an hour. I've seen it from a few cars now because you've got sticky new rubber on. It takes a little bit of speed out, so they're a couple of Ks down from that. But look at this, pretty well level pegging all the way through to the end of the lap. And it makes the point, it was a commitment lap. In the really tough stuff, Brodie Kostecki really prevailed. Beautiful stuff.